Jordan back with another video. We live in a world where the majority of people struggle taking accountability for their actions. They avoid responsibility like it's their kryptonite. A lot of people blame others and try to justify their toxic behavior and actions on why they did certain things. They can dish out blame to other people, but when someone highlights their flaws and mistakes, they try to act all defensive and be all offended like they did nothing wrong. See, they can dish out blame on others, but when someone does the same to them, they become all defensive and back away like someone hurt their feelings or something. The majority of people cannot take accountability for their actions, and it's sickening. And if you're someone that has a hard time self-reflecting and not take accountability for your actions on on the things that you do, you will never be able to grow and evolve. You'll damage relationships. People will not be able to trust you, and you'll be blocking your blessings. And that's not something that you want. But the reason why the majority of people have a hard time taking accountability for their actions is because most people do not like to self reflect. Most people like to believe that there are these perfect little angels that can do no wrong and that everything that they do is correct and that they don't need to work on anything within themselves. When in actuality, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We are all flawed and we're all a work in progress. There's nobody on this planet that is perfect. We all make mistakes. And you're not human if you don't make mistakes. That's what makes you human, and that's what makes you authentic. Just as long as you learn from your mistakes and not to repeat them again, you'll be just fine. But a lot of people don't like to admit that they are flawed and that they did something wrong because everybody wants to believe that they are right about everything. Nobody likes to admit that they were incorrect about something. Everyone wants to be right all the time. And it's an ego thing. Nobody is right all the time, including myself. I'm not right about things all the time. I make mistakes and errors every now and then, but I always self reflect and take action to correct them so I can evolve and become better. That's how you're supposed to do it. But the majority of people act like nothing is wrong with them, that they don't need to work on anything, that they are just perfect just the way that they are. A lot of people, whoever was in their circle, told them that they don't need to work on anything, that they are perfect just the way they are. There's always room for self improvement. And that's one of the reasons why people don't like to take accountability. One of the first reasons, because nobody wants to self reflect. No one wants to reflect on how toxic that they are, that, that they need to work on themselves, that they need to correct the mistake that they made. But when you correct, if you're willing to self reflect and correct them an error that you made within yourself, you can use that as fuel to grow and evolve so you can become better. That's a thought. Another reason why people have a hard time taking accountability, and this stems during childhood. Something may have happened where you may have accidentally broken a vase in your mom's house and she asked who broke the vase and you took the fall for it. You got in trouble, you got a spanking or whatever, she sent you to your room and you got punished for it and that traumatized you. One of the main reasons, one of the second main reasons why people have a hard time taking accountability because they took accountability for something before and they got a repercussion for it. They got a spanking, they got sent to their room, they got punished, they got a negative consequence. The majority of people do not take accountability because they're afraid of receiving a negative outcome or a negative consequence for the supposed behavior that they've done. And that's very understandable because when you tell the truth, sometimes you'll still get in trouble for doing what you did because what you did was, I don't know, either not so good or you made a mistake. Even if you were honest and you made a mistake, people will still get mad at you and yell at you, but At least you won't have that guilt riding through your head. But the majority of people like to lie and say that they didn't do it and blame it on someone else just to avoid the negative consequence. But then you invite in guilt. You get someone else in trouble and you invite in guilt because you're the one that made the mistake and you don't want to face it. And it's understandable, but it is not justifiable on why you should not take accountability for your actions. But that's one of the second main reasons why people have a hard time being accountable and taking responsibilities, because when they did that before, taking accountability brings in pain, it brings in consequences. So in order to avoid that pain, I'm like, I'm not taking accountability for nothing. I'm just gonna, I don't know, let someone else take the fall for it while I just roam off scot free. And that's cowardness. I understand nobody likes to be punished, no one likes to receive negative consequences, but it's always best to be honest and tell the truth than to tell a lie. That's one of the second reasons why people have a hard time taking accountability. Another reason why people have a hard time taking accountability is learned behavior. Maybe certain people in their family never took accountability for their wrongdoings, whether your dad never took accountability for his mistakes or your mom never took accountability for her flaws and mistakes, your siblings. It can be karmic. It could be toxic family members that don't take accountability for everything. And for generations and centuries, this has been going on. It is something that has been going on in your bloodline for years, for decades to come. It's a generational thing. It may be a generational thing in learned behavior on why some people have a hard time taking accountability, because other people in their family never took accountability for their actions. So why should they? That's what they believe. But pretty soon, someone is going to have to own up to their mistakes and grow and learn to take accountability so you can evolve. The majority of people in your bloodline might probably won't do that, but you will. You're the one that decides to take responsibility and accountability for your actions. And because of this, it's the reason why you're being blessed. And you might have family members and people that are jealous of you and hate on you because you're willing to own up to your mistakes and be willing to grow, and they're not. And they're mad that you are, which is why they give you dirty looks and treat you how they did in the past, because you were willing to grow and learn from your mistakes and they weren't. So yeah, it could be a generational thing on why people don't have a hard time taking accountability. Always wanting to be right and childhood trauma, the fear of receiving a negative outcome or consequence. Is there any other reason why people have a hard time taking accountability? What could also be the reason? Some people are just lazy. Some people are lazy and too selfish to own up to their mistakes because they believe that them taking accountability, they're going to have to do some self work and some hard work to be able to grow. A lot of people are lazy. They don't want to do the work and take the necessary steps to evolve and grow. They want someone else to do it for them. And they'll never be able to grow and evolve with that type of mindset. It is your responsibility to take action and make things happen. It's no one else's job or responsibility to make sure that you are in a good spot. A lot of people would like to blame their problems and insecurities onto another person, which is projection. Many people in society do this. They'll make a mistake or do something wrong and they'll blame it on someone else, or they'll try to project their insecurities and problems on why they are not where they want to be at in life. They try to blame their problems on another person. And that's gaslighting, and that's not right. You will never be blessed that way. Blaming your problems and mistakes on other people instead of taking responsibility. You won't be blessed that way. Instead, you'll be stuck in this negative karmic loop of always being in a bad situation or you not having what you need or want because you can't take ownership and responsibility for your actions and your behavior on how you treat others and what you do in your life and what you decide that you want for yourself. You will never grow that way. And until you are willing to take accountability and responsibility for your actions and the things that you do, you will never be able to evolve. People will not trust you. You will damage relationships and nobody's going to want to be around you. But as long as you are willing to self reflect and take accountability for your actions, you're building trust. Other people will be able to trust you. You will be able to fix relationships, whether personal or professional. You are building trust. People will be able to count on you for things. But yeah, most people who do not take accountability, they are cowards. They're wimps. And some of it is due to trauma, childhood trauma, but it's important to take responsibility for your actions. Confirmation. But yeah, even if you do receive a negative consequence or they get mad at you, at least you told the truth. At least you took accountability. So no one else had to get in trouble for something that they didn't do. But yeah, that's one of the main reasons why people have a hard time taking accountability. And I'm sure that there's more. Once I figure out the other reasons why, I'll make a second video. If you like this video, please comment down below and tell me what you thought about it. I'll catch you guys in the next one. And until next time, peace.